course, reaction channels are already on it. Wants to make her ass video and put me as her thumbnail. Cause y'all love making money off of us.
All right, let's just shut that up really quick. I'm so sorry to do this right in the beginning of the video, but I just have to. Just give me 1 second. Hold on, let's go. Get over here. You wanna call people a bitch? This is what you get. No, not the trash. Ugh. Get in, because we already know you belong there.
There is nothing wrong with communicating with a 16-year-old.
Get in or I'm gonna ninja kick you in. All right. You're probably wondering why I forcibly dragged a morbidly obese woman down my hallway and struggled a lot. Well, I think you can guess why I struggled a lot. You're probably wondering why I did it. Well, we will get to that dramatic individual in a few minutes. Body positivity, a term that's supposed to mean you are positive about certain things on your body that you can't control. You lost a toe or maybe a whole foot. Maybe you have big ol' earlobe or big ol' feet like Peggy Hill.
Have you ever had back problems?
No.
Of course not. I'll bet you're a gifted athlete.
And then body positively quickly morphed into be extremely positive and quite giddy about obesity and fatty liver and heart attacks. What joy, right? How can you not be positive about death? And once the big girls started rubbing their bellies and flipping their fupas and calling it body positivity, the men said, hello, we absolutely love body positivity. Sit on us. And some literally did in the name of body positivity. Last week, we talked about a man that used body positivity to create a paradise for what I call morbidly obese women, what he would call beautiful pear-shaped women that he just wants to love and feel accepted. So he opened a house that was for eating, for body positivity, jumping in pools,
Paradise cannonball shake.
letting their butt cheeks flap in the water, for body positivity, rubbing their bellies,
Little meat right here. little belly meat.
for body positivity.
I like big butts and I cannot lie. It literally just is there.
Okay, wait, hold on. You're making a face. I see it. Don't do that, because this is for body positivity. They hashtag body positivity, and so that's what it is. Just a man in a mansion with about 12, 15, 20, 25 women, obese women, that he wants to make feel loved. A place that's non-judgmental until he posts it all to the World Wide Web, where you know everybody's gonna judge you, especially if you're fat.
You put my naked body on the internet.
And that man who opened the Fat Woman Sanctuary, the safe space is what he calls it, is Stefan.
Welcome to paradise.
And yes, he does sound like Klaus from American Dad.
No, he doesn't. He's so lying.
You know, Stanislavski says that acting is the grandest lie.
I'm rewatching the whole series and I'm very frustrated because now all I see is Stefan's weird, knobby-headed face in that fishbowl. Well, for a few people, including Stefan, a documentary came out. Topic: body positivity. The headliner within the documentary: Stefan. The place: paradise. Stefan's paradise. According to Stefan, he had absolutely nothing to worry about, and this was going to be a positive documentary about a man who embraces bigger women.
No, Jesse, I'm actually not really worried. Like, my part of the story particularly basically only consists of evidence.
Who have never been loved and felt like they shouldn't be loved. But this documentary was called Big Girls Wanted, Escaping Paradise. So now you're asking, well, why would anybody want to escape a place that's a paradise? Usually you want to stay there and stay in that little world. Well, allegedly, this man was taking advantage of multiple women, and they all talked about it in depth in this documentary.
Most of the allegations are completely fabricated.
Before the documentary came out, an approximate 1-minute trailer that should have been a trailer about positivity and a man with a mansion who's nice, you know, the nice guy. Nothing big should have came out of it except for, well, the women. But once it hit, Stefan and many of his girls started sweating.
No way, God! God!
The knees started shaking and even the tears started flowing. Remember the girl that I showed you in the beginning? Ugh, God.
And God, it's literally only been minutes since I watched the documentary.
Hi, editing Michelle here. I just had to tell you that I cannot roll my eyes far back enough when I watched that clip. I'll tell you about it later. I just had to tell you that right now. It's okay to roll your eyes at her crying. Just do it. You'll see later. Because oh my god, the dramatic. So just so you know, it's okay to roll your eyes and even say, girl, shut up. And roll on out of here. This woman's acting like someone died. And they did. A couple people, actually. But that's not the reason why she's crying in the clip that I sent you. So before we get to the reason why this woman is crying, why I dragged her down my hallway and threw her in my toilet, along with Stefan, where they both belong, in my opinion, will absolutely never change on that. I personally think Stefan should go somewhere a lot worse, but the toilet will do for now. Before we answer all of those questions, though, let's get to why a community that is supposed to be about food, fun, and badasses is in deep panic and tears. Literally, this woman is crying on the toilet.
I'm doing the best that I can.
And when I tell you her reaction after this documentary came out and why she's upset about it, you'll probably want me to warm up again and drag her into the toilet too. The aftermath of this documentary had a lot of mixed feelings, such as anger, sadness, frustration, and of course, a lot of murmuring, girl, what are you doing? Get your ass off the toilet and act like a slightly normal functioning human being, please.
I am reaching to a point. I'm not engaging in reaction content about me. I'm doing my best to avoid it.
Hi, editing Michelle here again. I just wanted to tell you, she did not avoid it at all. I'll save it for later. All right, are you ready to go into paradise? Many of you are saying, no, don't worry, we're not going there with our body. Are you kidding me? No, frightening. Stefan is weird, gross. We are going virtually. Let's watch Big Girls Wanted Escaping Paradise. Warning, there's a lot of information in this documentary, and I did not know it was a docu-series. There's 3 episodes, and each of the episodes are about 45 minutes. And I want to give you guys all of the details because I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to hear everyone's description. I'll cut the parts that aren't very important, and you come to your own conclusion. I'm interested to see what you say after I explain to you the whole thing. But just a warning, it's kind of long, so I don't know if I'm gonna get through the whole thing today, but I also don't want to make multiple parts to this video on my channel. I just wanted to squish it together, make all one big video, but that means you might see a couple outfit changes, different makeup, and maybe even different hair. So no need to freak out if you see me wearing something different. Don't worry, Stefan didn't get you drunk or anything. It's just a different day for me, but the same day for you. Let's start. Okay, wait, before we get to episode 1, there's a few things that I just want you to remember as we go through these of what Stefan has said. Remember, Stefan, the safe space. 1, Stefan does all of this out of the kindness of his heart, mostly to push body positivity and the acceptance of fat women so they can be seen as human. Number 2, he does not feed these women, ever.
Stick it in your mouth.
He would never promote overeating. He does not feed these women.
There's no feeding. Like, we eat dinner, like family.
In fact, he talks about health with these women all the time and would never promote overeating.
Stick it all in there, Sarah.
3, he always gets consent from all of these women. In fact, he shouts it.
Multiple times we had discussions about, like, you know, consent and, like, you know, and when I say consent, I mean group consent. When people wanted to go in the pool naked, stop everything right here. Ask everybody involved, everybody around, say, is this cool with everybody? Is everybody down, or does anybody have a problem with it? And only when everybody was on the same page, at 2 a.m. or whatever, when the lights turned off, some people, you know, turned the party a different way.
4, there's absolutely no victims at Paradise.
There's no victims here.
Except for number 5, Stefan himself. Now that we all know what Stefan's all about, according to his weird lips, let's get into watching this fool lie his ass on camera and also get caught. So we meet someone called Emily Cash. She's a journalist, and she heard of Paradise just by doing what a lot of people do, scrolling on TikTok, and her For You page was a lot of body positivity. So guess who showed up? Mr. Stefan talking positively about oversized bathing suit bottoms.
I saw a video of this guy, and he holds up a pair of bathing suit bottoms, and he says, if you can fit in these, I want you in my pool.
Now you and me most likely see a creepy man, right? Not someone who is body positive, just a man that's trying to get his little eggplant jollies off. Well, Emily, as a journalist, saw a story, but she was also extremely intrigued, as even though she's a journalist, she's here for a story, she also is someone that struggles with obesity and all of the things that obese people struggle with, as in kind of being the one that is the obese friend. And she had always felt out of place.
I had no fat friends growing up.
And since she really had no fat friends growing up, she was always just the round one out of everyone. Nobody really could relate to her and her like fat girl struggles. It was kind of enticing to see just a bunch of fat women having fun, wearing bikinis, jumping into pools, smiling, laughing, a community.
All the videos are of these bigger women just having fun together.
And Emily was looking at body positivity for a long time, for years, and she would say that it really helped her feel more like a human. So her For You page would do what all of our For You pages do on TikTok. They're gonna dish us whatever will keep us on the app for hours. And body positivity was her go-to and made her feel good.
Over the past few years, the body positivity movement really helped me start to feel comfortable in my skin again.
So Emily, being a journalist and a fat girl, saw Stefan and his paradise and all these fat women frolicking around and said, I would love to go here. 1, I'm gonna have a great time, maybe. And 2, I get a story out of it. And her goal initially was to infiltrate the house, see what's really going on, and hopefully she even admitted, feel really good about herself. She kind of had a dream that it would go well, and it really was a paradise. I wonder what she'll find out. So she wastes absolutely no time, and she messaged Stefan first. And Stefan didn't waste any time either. She was booked and ready to go to Las Vegas within a week.
He responded back instantly. And by the end of the week, I was on my way to Vegas.
Something that Emily was really excited about was the community of being with other fat women just like her. They know the similar struggles, they know the thigh chafe. Like, I've never been that big, but when I talk to someone else that has a thigh chafe just like me and we can like kiki about summertime and our thighs hurting, it does feel really good. I mean, it sucks for them too that we both can't wear shorts without pain. But you know, it's nice to talk to someone that has your same struggles. Relatability is, I don't know, wonderful. But as Emily was on her way to Stefan's paradise, she has some thoughts, about Stefan.
I'm not really worried that the girls are gonna like me. I think we're gonna get along. I'm a little nervous about this like dude though.
Yeah, I would be too though. Honestly, I would be horrified. She gets there and everything is amazing. She is accepted instantly. She is loved instantly. She relates to all the women. She feels comfortable. She feels extremely safe.
I was just another fat girl in that moment. And that in itself was a little shocking, but it was like liberating.
And then she met the HBIC, but she was not a B word. She was one of the most beautiful, pure heart, nicest people that she met, and her name is Cass. And Cass was one of the top women in Stefan's house. In fact, they were in a relationship. Cass was his #1 girl. She's big, beautiful, and young, early 20s.
Can you give us a house tour? I can give you a Cass tour.
According to multiple of the women in this documentary, they said that Cass really had something special about her. She really wanted to make everyone feel really special. And Emily, the journalist, really connected with her as well. She remembered a moment when they were sitting on the couch late at night and Cass is just like staring deeply in her eyes and said, "You're really pretty." Which, according to Emily, it wasn't like that Mean Girls, you know, Regina George moment.
You're like really pretty.
Thank you.
So you agree?
What?
You think you're really pretty?
But at the same time, I was kind of like,
She was like, nobody tells you that you're pretty, huh?
I don't know, I had my certain opinions about like someone calling you pretty and then someone saying, no one says that to you, do they? Because it kind of feels like, okay. But this woman, Emily, she felt extremely special after this comment because Cass said, no, you are beautiful.
Nobody had ever said that to me in such earnestness before.
And after that, Emily was hooked. She never felt better, more accepted, more loved than a place like paradise.
I mean, at the end of the day, everybody just wants to feel heard and loved and seen.
That's something that I think Stefan knows as well. In fact, I think he preys on women like this. Throughout the documentary, you'll see that every single woman, 1, lacks love, but 2, a lot of these women are extremely young and they are in situations that aren't the best. They usually don't have a home, they don't have a lot of money, they're extremely young, they have been bullied so much that they think that they are worthless. Somebody like Esme.
I was bullied 24/7 for being a fat girl. I didn't finish school because of it.
Esme didn't even finish school because of all of the bullying that she got. So she doesn't have an education. She's extremely obese. So finding a job is going to be extremely difficult. Society is going to look at her as if she is lazy. The internet will look at her as she is, well, fat, because she is. And she comes from a very, very small town where I think she lived in like a 2-bedroom trailer. So when she heard about paradise, she thought that this was heaven. In fact, she is completely loyal and sold sold on Stefan. She'll do pretty much anything for him.
Stefan, that man is everything. He gave me somewhere to call home, and I love it. I'm never leaving. He can't get rid of me.
How is it living in paradise? Well, they're like their own little community. Stefan is the head of the household. It is his house. And the girls live there rent-free, but they do have a lot of responsibilities.
There was a herd mentality that we all had. You do your part.
So the girls would have to cook, clean, organize, keep things, looking correctly, and help Stefan with his business. How did Stefan get so rich? We'll get to Stefan's villain arc in a second. But basically the girls has to package his product so that it's ready to get shipped out.
He'll have you fold boxes and label boxes to help him with his business.
But the most important duty the girls have when they stay there is perform for Stefan and the cameras.
He would put us on camera doing videos for the Paradise TikTok. Those drew people in, and it absolutely exploded.
And that's pretty much how Stefan would get tons of obese women flocking to his paradise. Free rent, free food, a sisterhood, a safe place, and just, some man that is a safe space. What could possibly go wrong? Stefan's TikTok would blow up, and many fat women said they want to go to paradise. Well, unfortunately, what we see on TikTok and on social media is usually fake. Things are usually edited, some things could be skewed, and people lie. But the cameras was an important aspect to Stefan and the paradise house.
Stefan is posting the women from pretty much the minute he wakes up to the minute that he goes to bed.
So just keep in your head that there's cameras rolling all the time. In fact, there's cameras all around the house except for the bedroom and the bathroom, supposedly. And of course, the camera on his weird, stupid head. So I don't know, if I was living in some man's house and he had a freaking camera on his head like that, I'm leaving. No man who is wearing a GoPro on his head with a house full of women in bikinis is good to me. He's a freak and he's probably really sweaty. Anyway, the house would blow up, numbers would rise, and when things get more popular on the internet, who gets a whiff of it? Commentary channels. Like me. Clocked this full 4 years ago, but nobody wanted to listen because I was a hater. Well, as more and more YouTubers started talking about Stefan in Paradise, many people would say he's a manipulator. He's manipulating these women that are clearly insecure. They have never felt love, and he's giving them literal crumbs and free room and board, making them feel special only to probably do something weird in the end. And he got interviewed in here and got to tell people he's not a manipulator.
Manipulating people is not my thing.
No. He doesn't manipulate. He doesn't lie. He's not weird. In fact, what are you, Stefan?
I'm just a normal guy. That's my tagline on Instagram.
Well, call me a 600-pound chick and slap my booty cheeks, Stefan. If it's on Instagram, then that means it's true. All normal people has a mansion that they tell morbidly obese women, come here and wear these bikini bottoms and flap your booty cheeks in my pool. That's very normal. So, turn off the camera. Video's over. Just kidding, he's an idiot. Also, it's been years since I've seen an update of Stefan. He got chunkier. He's got a gut. And that is not rude to say in this community because according to Stefan, bigger is better.
I like big butts and I cannot lie.
Anyway, we get a little bit more insight on Stefan's peak type, like his exact type of big girl that he likes.
Has always been very tall and very big. Like she would be 6 foot or taller.
Big and tall, like big, tall. He just wants to be crushed. That's his whole thing. And in this community of men who like these types of women, usually like these men that specifically want these types of women because big women can be loved. But there's always a specific type of man or person who goes for these types of women who have a fetish, and they usually like to get squished. It's a thing they do all the time. It's supposed to be really fun. Oh, nope, you get out of here. We're not gonna talk about you yet, but it's happening. How the hell did she get out the toilet? Anyway, back to Stefan. He goes on and on about how he likes big girls.
I like big butts and I cannot lie.
Like a lot. It was too much. We got it. But he just kept on going.
I like them round. I like them chunky.
Something that I found interesting about Stefan's interview is that he likes to act like he doesn't just jump, literally Mario leap at the chance of a woman traveling to his paradise wearing the swim trunk bottoms that he held up in his TikTok, and then she splashes around in his pool with her her butt cheek. Because through the interview, he kept saying that he vets all the people that come to the house. Like it's an intense vetting system. He has to, you know, he doesn't just let anyone in his home.
Tell me about yourself, because it's not an open invite.
When about, what, 8 minutes ago, Emily, the journalist, said that she sent him a DM and she was in the house within a week. That seems like an open invite to me. He works quick, in my opinion. I'm not meeting anybody off the internet that I talked to for a week. But Stefan felt completely safe doing just that. And he wanted to make sure that the girls felt safe too.
Plus size people in a swimsuit can let loose without ever feeling judged. Can't do that at a public beach.
No, they can put their fat booty cheeks in your pool so that you can take out your camera and then put it online, which is 1,000 times worth, Stefan. What? Just a show of hands, just wondering. Would y'all rather be in a swimsuit in front of Stefan at his house or just take your chances and go to an open beach?
You can be yourself and not feel watched.
Stefan, I need to remind you that there are cameras all over your house and you're live streaming all the time. The other thing that I found interesting that Stefan's dumbass said, because he thinks that people are dumb and we aren't gonna remember things, is that he hates when people compare him to another man that had a mansion full of women.
People love to compare me to like Hugh Hefner of plus size women. I kind of like don't really want to be. I want to be unique.
He talks about not wanting to be like Hugh Hefner. He wants to be unique. He wants to be a safe space, body positivity space, a nice guy. Stefan, is this you? Mr. I don't want to be like Hugh Hefner, but you decided to dress up like him? If I was someone who was super against not wanting to be related to somebody, I probably wouldn't cosplay as them. Just so you know, Stefan. I'm showing you guys all of these things because once we get to the end, I want you to see how much Stefan likes to lie and he thinks that we're just dumb, and it's quite insulting. Just like I was very insulted when he showed up in my messages and trying to manipulate me into thinking that he was a nice guy. And I said, no, 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 sir. I still think you're a freak. And then he blocked me. I think I'm unblocked now, which was so weird. I don't know why he would unblock me. The hate's still here. Even more after watching this documentary, sir. Since we're on Stefan, let's get to his villain arc. They take us all the way back to, I don't know, a lot farther back than now when Stefan was super young and riding bikes with his brother. And Stefan has always been into science, figuring things out, building things. Something else that he has always been into or kind of forced into, I'm not too sure the correct words, but his parents and his family were extremely health conscious. In his words, his family were health nuts, like over the top. So they were always active, they were always moving, they were always doing, you know, things. He was smart plus being pretty athletic, along with eating very healthy food. But for some reason, Stefan never liked athletic, thin, or generally healthy looking women. Like he said before, he likes them big. And he did the biggest mistake of his life, at least when he was a teen, was bring home a big girl to his extremely health conscious parents.
I immediately got judged. Was one of the reasons why I moved out when I did.
And you know what? I feel like that kind of like did something. I'm not trying to give this man excuses, but just think if his parents had like a positive reaction and didn't judge him, didn't make him feel some type of way, maybe they could have also even just like helped the girl out and gave her a few healthy tips or something, lose a little bit of weight. It's okay to be, you know, thick, but I think he probably really likes this chick. And then it turned into a lot of shame, judgment, and pushback from the parents, and then he just wanted it even more. And it turned into, well, whatever all this is. I'll explain more later. We got to get through the villain arc. So after that, he never brought home a plus size woman ever again, and instead he planned when he was gonna move out. And where did he go? He wanted to go to America, baby.
It was just the land of the free where there's big, beautiful women everywhere.
He was in heaven because there's a lot of obese people here. Pretty much Stefan made a lot of money because he's very smart in electronics. He invented something for the convertible that moves the top of the convertible back so people can have their hair fly around in the wind and have bugs squish on their face. You guys like convertibles? I absolutely hate them. I went on a date like a long time ago when I was single with a guy who had a convertible, and I think it was trying to impress me with the top down, and all it looked like was this. Didn't see him again after that. No air conditioner, oh my God. And bugs. But anyway, some people liked it, and that's how he got all of his money.
And I sell it directly and worldwide. This right here,
was my ticket to freedom.
And he got a lot of it. He was rich, a millionaire. Once COVID hit, everybody was online a lot more, and so was Stefan. And he decided, you know what? This is America. It's the land of the free. People are more accepting here. I'm going to finally live my truth. I'm going to say it. I like big girls. So he colored his hair like a rainbow, turned on his camera and said,
Hi, hi, hi. I like pear-shaped girls, and I live in Paradise, Nevada.
all this man had to say was, hi, I'm a dude, and I like pear-shaped women. Like literal, I want you big. 3 days, he got to 30,000 followers. Remember when Stefan's stupid knobby head said that he just doesn't let anybody in his house and he's very careful and it's, you know, a sacred place pretty much? Shortly after he started going viral, he started inviting people over to his house who he didn't know.
Within a month or so, I started inviting people over. Swimsuit check! And
Within a month, he was doing swimsuit checks. I'm gonna just take a little gander here, Stefan, and say that you salivate at the mouth at the thought of any big woman and you will invite them to your house. At least at this time. Probably not now after this documentary came out. So then we meet another woman named Ivy. Ivy is another woman that talks about she wanted to feel loved, she wanted to feel desired, and another woman that expressed that she wanted this idea of sisterhood as she just never had really any like close bonded fat friends.
Paradise gave me the sisterhood that I needed.
And when I was looking at Ivy, I mean, what do you say when you were looking at Ivy? And then remembering what Stefan said in the beginning of his exact type. Because I'm looking at Ivy and she looks tall. Like my head usually comes like a lot lower than the middle of the doorway. And she's got wide hips. And like Stefan says, he likes them
very tall and very big.
And on the first day that Ivy stepped in, one of the women even warned her.
One of the other girls pointed at me and said she should be worried because she's his type.
Now, why would someone need to be worried about a man who is a safe space? A man who's just trying to spread body positivity. There should be no worries, just paradise. Stefan was extremely touchy with her. He loved Ivy. Look right here, she's sitting on the bed with her booty cheeks up, and there's his face right above her booty cheeks. He likes to pet her head like she's a little fucking cat. I don't know, that kind of pissed me off. But Ivy absolutely loved this environment where she is actually beautiful to other people.
You like attention and
oh right, remember that list that I told you to keep inside your head that Stefan doesn't promote gaining weight. It's not a great thing. The girls are just, you know, they're just big. He doesn't promote eating or anything. Well, Heather, who according to Emily the journalist is the Kris Jenner of the Paradise household, explains that there is a designated scale in the house. And this scale goes up to 700 pounds. Now, according to Stefan, stepping on the scale is just a little activity.
Is a common household item here that nobody is afraid of. And people regularly just step on it just for fun.
Hold on, before we get to this whole scale thing, can we do a face check really quick? Because I just think he's lying that it is just for fun. I think it's for Stefan because these men like when these women get bigger. It's a whole thing for them and their eggplants. But according to Stefan, it is just another piece of furniture. Well, according to Heather, the Kris Jenner of the house, it was the first thing that Stefan would ask her to do when her little tootsies walked up into paradise.
He was very slick about the way that he asked me.
According to her, he kind of like nonchalantly said, hey, you should step on the scale. And she was like, why? And he was like, it's kind of like a little game. You step on the scale because I can usually pinpoint the amount of weight that a woman is that's generally your size. You know, it's kind of like this fun thing I like to do is just guess the weight and see how much you are. Just, you know, step on the scale right there. Just put your feet on it so I can look at the number. You big, beautiful woman, you get on it because it's body positive. And at the time, Heather said it was quite liberating. She had never done that before.
It felt incredibly comfortable when I probably wouldn't have even stood on a scale in front of my ex-boyfriend who I had been with for 10 years.
When these women would come into the house, they felt incredibly loved, safe with the girls and apparently with Stefan. According to many, he had a way with words. Anyway, back to the whole scale thing and what I pinpointed in the beginning of Stefan saying like he doesn't get excited when people gain weight. He just likes big women like the way they are. Like you don't need to gain weight. Nobody gains weight in this house and he doesn't feed them. Well, whenever the girls would jump on the scale, Stefan would come a-running.
Stefan would like run in with the camera and be like, well, how much do you weigh? Like out of nowhere, Stefan just appeared.
And whenever somebody would gain weight, they said that there would be just a glimmer of joy in this man's face.
Ooh, Poor 89.
Now you guys tell me, if you were about 500 pounds and you got on the scale and it read over 500 pounds, whatever your like base weight was, what would your loved one do if you gained more weight? Smile and get turned on? Or would they say, oh, maybe we should do something about this? If they're doing the first one, I think you're with someone like Stefan, and I would probably run or roll. Do what you can, girls, to get away and get yourself healthy. Anyway, but according to Stefan, he does not promote getting bigger. There's no joy out of it at all for him. Okay. Just like he doesn't promote eating, even though he likes to take them to their special place to eat, called Heart Attack Grill.
If you're over 350, they ring a cowbell and you get free food.
He loves this place. He loves the fact that they ring the cowbell for the girls. He loves that he gets to weigh them inside the establishment. And he loves that they have a scale outside the establishment that he can get the girls to stand on and everybody around will stare, but not judge. Remember, no one's gonna laugh at a bunch of morbidly obese women hobbling and wobbling onto a scale to get weighed and show that they weigh over 1,000 pounds. It's gonna be all love, all body positivity, and all joy. And Stefan's not getting turned on by it at all.
It's like everybody's eating for free.
Besides you.
I know, I'm used to that though.
Stefan has said multiple times that he does not do this for anything except for the kindness of his heart, because he just really loves obese women and he wants them to feel good. He wants them to feel like this is a safe space and he gets nothing out of this at all. But my theory, and don't worry, it's not just my theory. I don't think I'm extremely smart for figuring this out. I just can look at this and know that he's a liar, because he definitely benefits, well, you know, down there, and he benefits from his pocketbook. Can we just think about this for 1 second? His whole house always has cameras. He has room and boarding these women. They always have to post content. He's making money from all of this. That is a tax write-off in itself. He claims the women are there so that he can help them, but I think the women are there, one, for his enjoyment and his whole fat girl fantasy, and two, because he's addicted to the views and he needs these women there to get the views. The women bring it all in. He even says it in the documentary. In fact, to make it clear, he says when the girls eat, the views spike.
People love to see people eat. It's a phenomenon. We can see the viewer numbers spike up. It's double the viewers.
So Stefan, once again, you're going to tell me that you do not influence these women to eat on camera when you just said that when they eat on camera, it doubles the views. And you, sir, have had multiple Instagrams and profiles banned because of your content and it being weird. And you keep making more content because you like the financial benefit and, well, just seeing the views because you're probably addicted to social media. You're gonna tell me that you do not influence these women to eat. I mean, Stefan is the one that posted these videos of telling these women to shove it in their mouth at the Heart Attack Grill.
Stick it in your mouth. Stick it all in there, Sarah.
What's that about, Stefan? Just good old family fun, huh? Anyway, Ivy, the big and tall woman that he really likes to pet, said that the first day that her tootsies came into the house, he introduced her to a special website that was specifically for women who like to eat and men who like to watch it.
You could have people buy you food, and I was like, okay. I don't know how I feel about it.
After Stefan introduced Ivy to that specific website that was wholesome, remember, and that he was never on, even though we saw text messages of him sending messages to Quirky Love Rosie here saying that he follows her on there and he saw her do stuff with a chocolate cake. Anyway, after Stefan says that he is not on those websites and he is not that type of person to be into that, he says this to really show that he's not into that.
There's health concerns. Absolutely, but I always found it interesting.
He just found it interesting. He's not doing it. He's just like loves it. He's just intrigued a little bit, says the man that has a whole mansion dedicated to obese women. Got it. And then he goes on and says, well, why does it matter if it's two people that are just, you know, that want to do it?
I try everything. Technically, between two consenting adults, they can do anything.
And let me be clear, I think this is all very odd, but if two people want to do that and one person wants to eat a bunch of chocolate cake and the other person wants to watch until they pop, whatever. That's your thing, gross, nasty. My thing is, against Stefan, is that he's trying to put a haze of body positivity over it and saying he's just a normal guy because it says normal in his Instagram bio in hopes that he lures young women into his sanctuary or his paradise, which is his words, and they trust him and they feel safe with him, so then he can push their boundary. And that's when we meet Savvy, who was one of the youngest women that came to Paradise, I think at 19. The woman would explain the real Paradise would happen when the cameras got shut off and it was hot tub time. And Savvy, the youngest woman who would come to the house, would find the real Paradise very quickly. Savvy would explain that one day Stefan would just come into her room, not saying anything at all, lift up her shirt, and start touching her belly.
But I remember laying there, just being like, I hope this doesn't keep going the whole time. Stefan was pushing my boundaries.
In this world, touching someone's belly is pretty much like touching their boob. The guys get, like, that is a sacred place that the guys really want to touch. Like, they really want to just, like, grasp that thing. And through the documentary, you'll see that Stefan is constantly grabbing these girls' bellies. Boob bellies. He's got, like, a weird little pet name for it.
Little meat right here. little belly meat.
Belly meat. How the fuck is that body positive, Stefan? That's just weird, freak. Savvy would also talk about the fact that she would be in the hot tub and she would take off her clothes or her bikini and Stefan would immediately take out his camera. A lot of women in the documentary were also saying that you didn't have to sleep with Stefan, but it was like an unspoken rule that you gotta, you know, you're staying in his house for free. You gotta give up your booty cheeks.
When I was there, he had romantic or physical encounters with many of the women in the house.
So now you're probably asking, but he has a girlfriend. Well, no, he has a main girlfriend and then everybody else, you know. I think it was a polyamorous type community because if you remember from my first video, Miss Quirky Love Rosie was the one that messaged Stefan and wanted to explore more about his community because she's poly as well. And she wants to frolic, well, as much as she can, because I think her mobility is a little low. How are these women having sex? How does that even, you know what? Don't, I'm fine. But she wanted to frolic around in the in this poly community as well. Unfortunately for his main girlfriend, Cass, she didn't really like the setup, but she was extremely in love with Stefan, so she was just gonna go with it.
She would have done anything for him for sure. He knew that. And seeing the way that Stefan treats people, it was very clear to me the level of manipulation that happens is out of this world.
Well, some of the women were getting tired. The youngest woman, Savvy, did not feel comfortable in this house anymore, especially after the whole him coming into her room, staring at her as he sits on the bed and then like touching her fupa, because what the f, Stefan? So she left and she was wondering, I wonder if anyone else feels this way, and eventually someone popped up. A 38-year-old woman called Piggy Stardust.
I physically cannot stomach this man.
So at first, Piggy Stardust, or her real name is Kimmy, felt really bad for Stefan because he was getting a lot of flack from people like me and other commentary YouTubers who were saying, this man is completely manipulating you ladies. He's doing this for his own pleasure. And so she got on there and said, this man is he just likes bigger women. Go follow him. He's a great guy. And then she took like a real quick look at his profile and all the weird stuff that he would post. And she said, oh.
I realized, hey, guess what? I was wrong.
I'm gonna just rip this band-aid off. BBW Paradise is not a safe and positive place.
Once someone from their own community started speaking out about this guy that has a house for fat chicks, other people started speaking out and talking to Piggy Stardust, I mean Kimmy, because they said, yeah, I think he's kind of weird, and one of those people would be someone that stayed there for a few weeks, and that would be Savvy, so these two would team up. And Kimmy asked Savvy, are you sure you want to do this? Because I'm gonna go hard on my TikTok. And Savvy gives her the green light.
I said, full speed ahead. Talk.
And for the first time ever, we get actual footage from the guy that says he has absolutely nothing to worry about because he's innocent, he's body positive, and he's a safe space. We finally get to see him freak out the day that those videos started coming out. Honestly, it was actually really exciting to watch.
This could f up your life for a while.
It can.
This will all
What the do I do?
Something about watching this idiot who thinks he's so fucking smart sit behind his computer screen, looking extremely frustrated, screaming, asking these women, what the hell do I do? But that whole thing was only the beginning. Hello, it's the next day. Some of you are gay. Rigby is here, and Stefan is pretending to be a safe place for queers. Before we get to the next chapter, let's take a little break, check out Stefan's Facebook really quick, and let me show you how much he's trying to be a safe space during Pride Month. Think of me as the pole. I'm not part of the flag, but I am straight and I will support you. For the people who are queer in my community, do you want Stefan's support? Do you want him to be the pole to your flag? Now a question for Stefan. I'm just so curious, if his place is such a safe space and everybody's really touchy-feely, whatnot, whatever, would he be chill if two super buff, I mean buff, ripped, muscular daddies came to his paradise and, I don't know, started slapping his booty cheeks around, joined the family, right? Lined his booty cheeks up and played a little grabby grab, maybe touched his belly meat? Would he be chill with that? Anyway, I checked his Facebook last night and he is grasping at trying to keep that image of him being a nice guy, but it's not working for me, and I saw the little pride post and I was like, let's be completely honest. He supports gay people, as in, I'll say allegedly, of course, because it's just what I think. He wants to watch two fat chicks making out and doing stuff with their stomachs while holding a pride flag or something, while he supports a camera so he can watch.
Welcome to paradise.
Let's get to episode 2. The hate rapidly grew for Stefan. Piggy pretty much created this whole girl group of women that came together and said he did the same thing to me and shared their experiences, and she was pretty much the megaphone for all of these women to talk about what Stefan is doing behind the scenes, behind the walls of Paradise. And through the documentary, we quickly got to see Stefan look extremely uncomfortable and kind of crumble.
She built a whole hate army that kept coming after me.
He was constantly talking about how nobody wanted to hear his side of the story, nobody wanted to hear his story. He said story a lot. And Piggy kept pushing and pushing and pushing.
How are you doing, Stefan? How's that heat you're feeling right now?
Piggy was pretty much posting 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a day. Her videos totaled up to about 300 videos solely about Stefan and the other women's stories, and how Stefan is taking advantage of very vulnerable women who are extremely insecure, and using the layer of body positivity to lure them into his clutches called Paradise.
Paradise is not a safe and positive place.
And Stefan's fight against Kimmy, or Piggy Stardust, was she never came to this house, so she doesn't know if I touch women against their will or not.
Piggy Stardust is a complete stranger. Somebody who never met me, never talked to me, never interacted with me, never been to the house.
But unfortunately for Stefan, nobody has to go to the house to know that he's a weirdo and he's using body positivity as a layer to attract women to his house.
There is nothing wrong with communicating with a 16-year-old.
Something that many of the victims from Stefan did not like and other people didn't like is that they gave Stefan pretty much a platform to talk, and they didn't like that. I think it's great because the more this man talks, the more that you'll see that he lies about just the tiniest little things.
If you believe that tapping or touching somebody's butt on top of their pants is sexual, I don't want you on my account.
Before we get to some of his lies, right in the documentary, Stefan, people also didn't like that they made him look more human with these backstories. And so we get to Stefan's villain arc story number 2. Pretty much his super health conscious parents said, we're gonna go to America for 5 weeks, a whole 5-week trip, going around America to like these main spots that are super, popular. One of those spots being Disney World in Florida. And while he was in the aquarium at Disney World, he saw an extremely obese woman standing near the fish tank, and he was in love. But he couldn't say anything. All he could do was just stare in admiration.
I was obviously way too shy to talk to her. Had my parents in tow, so I would never. But there was a wake-up moment. It was like, okay, this is what I want.
And his FETIS 8 for extremely plus-size women was now a staple. He had to have it in his house. And the documentary would go back and forth from women like Piggy Stardust, who does this when she hears Stefan saying that he's a safe space and he's body positive, over to women who are absolutely in love with Stefan and think that he's amazing, sweet, humble, and feels like that they would basically give their life for Stefan. All because apparently he helped them accept their body and do things like walk around in front of the Heart Attack Grill in a bikini, holding a sign telling other people, wear that damn bikini.
5 years ago, there's no way I would have been able to do that.
Honestly, I think that would have been the best thing if you never met Stefan and did that, to be completely honest. Everybody else has their definition and feeling of what liberation means to them. I'm just looking at the scene of this large woman's booty cheeks out while Stefan's skinny little calves runs around and films it. And people staring like it's a circus act. Like it feels like she's the fat woman at the circus and then people are just staring at her, laughing at her and just walking by. It would be weird if anybody was doing it, but I just don't see this as liberating. I see it as Stefan kind of doing a humiliation KINK. The most interesting victim out of all of these people was Cece, and we meet her in the second second episode.
He was actually really funny. He's a total nerd, which I actually liked at the time.
So this was around the time that I fell off of the Paradise thing, or when I made my video and never looked back because he was weird. But I remember Cece. I had no idea that they had a falling out, and I had no clue that she was 21 here and he was 40 something. So that's pleasant. Cece was the first victim of Stefan, who repeatedly told Stefan, no, I do not want to have sex. And not that the other ones didn't say no. She said no, and then she actually told Stefan the next day after it happened, after he did his thing, that no means no, Stefan, and you need to abide by that. But hers is interesting because it's the first time that Stefan actually pretty much admits that something did happen and he felt awful about it.
There was a time when her and I really talked it out like adults. And we agreed that, like, everything was good, and we hugged it out and actually cried a little bit.
And in Stefan's head, he thought everything was great because, well, they hugged and they cried. And so that was it for that. Like, everything was washed away. Cece should be fine. They talked about it. They cried. They kikied about it, and we're all good. But Cece was not all good. She was pretty pissed off because she repeatedly told him no, and he just kept it going.
I'm disgusted. I don't want to look at him. I don't want to talk to him.
The thing that's interesting and horrifying and awful about Cece's issue, well, there's two things. One, there's cameras all throughout the house with audio enabled, so you can see and hear everything, except for the bedrooms and bathrooms, according to Stefan.
There's no cameras in any of the bedrooms or in any of the bathrooms, of course.
After he said that, whoever was filming Stefan panned over to the fireplace and was like, there's a camera right there in the bedroom right now.
That's a temporary one that we sometimes use for making private content.
Sure, Stefan, whatever you say. I thought you said that there's no cameras in the private areas, but whatever. If you were at least gonna stick to the lie, wouldn't you at least move the camera so you don't look like an idiot and a liar all at the same time? Anyway, on camera, he says that there's no cameras in any of the private areas, but he captured the whole interaction that he did to Cece on camera. And when this came out and she started speaking out, he was like, no, it was consensual because I caught it on camera. Look, everyone. See, she's not saying anything. So he showed everybody. And then he would have the girls that still backed him up say that, no, Cece, you're wrong. It was consensual. And they would make sure to tell the public that.
These girls are making a mockery out of something that is so triggering.
After watching the full video from start to finish, I can confirm that this was a consensual interaction between two adults.
And Stefan would constantly use all of the women in his paradise to make video after video, making sure that they stick up for Stefan.
Loyalty is key. My job was to protect Stefan at all costs.
He would eventually find out, well, she's pregnant, and not with just one baby.
I was having twins.
She got twins. Yep, Stefan's a daddy to 2 children. I forgot that he was a father. Weird. Many of you guys are saying Stefan should not be a father. Don't worry, he does not want to be. He never wanted to be. In fact, allegedly, when he heard that Cece was pregnant, he allegedly devised a plan.
Stefan was likely trying to get somebody to slip her plan B in her drink so that she would have a spontaneous miscarriage and lose the twins.
Multiple of the women said that Stefan was talking about having them go to the doctor and act like they're pregnant and ask for plan B so they could, crunch, 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 and just slip her a little bit of that so then Stefan would get rid of his 2 issues. And they questioned Stefan about it, and he said, you guessed it, it was all a joke, with a smile on his face.
You can say things as a joke in private, and of course, somebody decided to take a joke and say oh, he was planning to do. No, I never did.
Yeah, we know you never completed your master villain plan, allegedly, because the twins are here, you weirdo. So during this segment, it kind of, usually I don't get super triggered, but let me tell you, Stefan triggers me. Everything about this man just triggers the hell out of me, everything. But during this specific segment, he really wanted to act like he was the victim in all of this, and he had the audacity to not only say he has absolutely no relationship with his kids, not because of Cece. Cece's not trying to keep them away from him. Especially in the beginning, she started going back to the house so that he could have a relationship with them, and he really didn't do much. It was the community of women that helped Cece take care of the children. From the looks of the documentary, Stefan held them a bit for the cameras, and once the cameras, went away, he was booty deep in a big booty lady in the hot tub. Cece was trying to have the twins have a relationship with their dad, but Stefan is the one that doesn't want anything to do with them. All because, well, Stefan, go ahead, use your words.
My relationship with the boys is non-existent, but that's because I need to protect my own mental health.
Garrett usually does not yell at TV screens, but the way that Garrett yelled the most white guy after Stefan revealed he doesn't see his kids or has no relationship with them because of his own 50-something-year-old adult male mental health. But Garrett then yelled out another "what the fuck" after Stefan, at least like 0.8 seconds after he talked about not having a relationship with his kids because of his mental health. He decides to say this banger about consent.
I have to live with the fact that there's 2 kids that were conceived against my consent.
You know, I was watching this and I was like, damn, Cece, I don't know how she's so damn calm. I just feel like this is why I would end up on like women who do bad things to ex-lovers on this same crime network. Like there is a fire in my ass and my chest right now. End of Cece's story, he starts talking about all of the allegations again and says this.
Most of the allegations are completely fabricated.
Most? So some of them are true. Do you want to tell us which ones are true, Stefan? The allegations against Stefan kept rising as Piggy Stardust kept posting her TikTok videos and more people started coming out about Stefan. Many YouTubers kept making YouTube videos about him. The more that his page would grow and the more fat women's booty cheeks he would post, he would be getting a lot of attention. He would be saying body positivity. Other people would be saying, I think you just want ass cheeks in your face and you're weird.
Guys ready for a swimsuit check?
And he would continuously have the girls post on TikTok saying like, tell the truth about Paradise, cause it's great here, right?
We as his inner friend group were pressured and asked to make videos defending him. It absolutely felt like he wore us as a shield.
According to them, that was part of their job to constantly post content on the internet for the TikToks and promoting Paradise. It makes Stefan look good, it makes the house look good, it helps Stefan out with his reputation, and it makes other big women say, oh, Paradise, that's a place that I would like to go to.
There was a point that Stefan climbed on my lap and wrapped his arms around me. How can you not want to protect that?
And so Stefan continues this cycle of bringing in new women. But Piggy kept pushing and pushing and pushing her piggy little fingers until Stefan could not take it anymore.
So I got officially served. I did pick up the papers.
Piggy and a couple of the other women who were constantly posting videos on TikTok was getting sued by Stefan for $1 million. Most of these women have absolutely no money. Many of them are broke college students, poor as hell, and now they have a millionaire suing them. And of course, all the women in the Paradise Mansion kept pushing back against Piggy, including Ivy, until something happened to her.
There was one instance where he very sneakily put something inside me.
Every single time Ivy would come to the house, Stefan would initiate having sex. She would say yes, but this time she felt something a little different going on down there. And what he put inside her was a tampon with spermicide on it so that she wouldn't get pregnant. He didn't want to have another or two issue happen. Again, like the Cece incident, how dare she? He didn't have consent for that.
There's 2 kids that were conceived against my consent.
And apparently during, like, while he was trying to put that inside of her, she was like, hey, what is that? And Stefan would call it a kitty treat.
Kitty, it's Stefan's creepy, weird way of talking about a woman's vagina.
And if you don't know, Stefan loves cat-like things. I mean, he has a cat, but he likes to like do or say cat-like things. If you notice in some of the clips that I use, they have a word sign with meow on the wall. And he likes to put what he calls kitty treats up people's vaginas. So he's just a cat guy. So there's that. Anyway, they also questioned Stefan about that. And he says, I told everyone that I do this.
To my best knowledge, I educated everybody on these. And I would have never just like put something in somebody without even like, how?
How? I don't know. You didn't. She questioned you on it. You got caught, sir. Anyway, after that, Ivy was like, okay, I'm done with all this. And she joined up with Piggy Stardust. And Ivy was the first one who publicly spoke out against Piggy Stardust to now join Piggy Stardust and be against Stefan.
Have somebody do something to me that I don't know about without even asking is deplorable.
And I can't go through every single one of the woman's story like deeply, but one of the last women that we meet that was Stefan's victim was Pork Chop. And I know you guys are laughing at these names. I wish they used their like normal names because I feel like a lot of people will not take it seriously at all. They'll just make a joke out of this because we've got Pork Chop, Piggy Stardust, like it's a lot of names, but we meet Pork Chop. And I feel like Stefan knows that people do not value obese women, especially obese sex workers. And now it's like mashed together. Two things that people don't respect. He knows that a lot of people aren't gonna take this seriously. But lastly, we meet Pork Chop, real name Alexandra. And the base of her story is that she was extremely drunk. She got in the hot tub and Stefan just started doing whatever he was doing.
I didn't have room to think. For some reason, I just felt paralyzed.
And quite quickly after that, she did stay in the house for a little bit. She said that she plummeted quite a lot, and then she would leave and join Piggy Stardust. And when another woman from Paradise who used to vouch for him would leave and go to Piggy Stardust's side, the heat started packing on to Stefan quite a bit. So he would get his right-hand woman to vouch for him a lot. Cass, his main girlfriend, and she was making TikToks and saying, no, these girls are not telling the truth. It's all consensual. They just changed their mind, lying, feeling guilty, something like that. Eventually though, Cass started changing.
Cass went from that really bubbly girl to someone who was just really taken into a dark space.
Cass started working more, and in this line of work, working more means eating more. She started posting more to that certain website where all you have to do is eat. The men and women will buy you food and tell you to eat, and I'll pay you more. She started making full-on adult content, having sex with Stefan on camera, having sex with other people on camera, and it was really taking a toll on her body, and she was getting older. She was about to hit the very old age, according, well, allegedly to Stefan, of 27.
When Cass had her 27th birthday, he did tell her that she was getting old for him.
Cass allegedly was getting too old for Stefan because yes, Stefan likes very, very large, big women, but he also likes very large, big women that are active. Cass has been putting on a lot of weight. She was getting older and her mobility was getting low, as it does when you are morbidly obese and getting, well, to your 30s. It starts going from cute, fun belly play and rolling around to not rolling around anymore and sitting in bed like you see on My 600-Pound Life. So Cass was barely walking. She didn't want to film anymore. She didn't want to go out in public, and you know what happens if you don't go out in public. Well, now Stefan can't roll you around Heart Attack Grill and get you weighed, so she couldn't even step on the scale anymore at Heart Attack Grill, where the scale goes up to over 1,000 pounds. She couldn't eat the food in public that Stefan wanted her to eat.
They want to make me look like an abuser, when in reality, I'm just a fat admirer.
So what it seems like in the documentary, she kind of knew that Stefan was replacing her. And eventually she would send out a text to her best friend, and her best friend knew what it was. She was trying to take her own life.
I knew that it was, goodbye, basically.
They did eventually find her and was able to call 911. Well, the other girls did. Stefan just stood there confused and didn't know what to do and freaked out. And one of the realities of being super large and like this size and something happens where you need an ambulance, it's difficult for them to find something big enough to get that person, enough people out and to the hospital care. And Cass's friends even told them that.
I was like, you're gonna need a lot of people. She's big, over 500.
We're sending a bariatric unit.
She would live, she would be fine. Cass would eventually move away from Stefan, they would break up, and she would live with her best friend. But Cass would continue doing the same line of work, and she would still talk to Stefan almost every single day until she would show up at his door again.
But like, she was 100 pounds heavier than she was when she left my house.
She had put on a lot of weight outside of Stefan's house as well. And Stefan throughout the whole video made it clear that she didn't gain tons of weight while she was with me. She gained a lot of weight while she was outside of the house. So obviously my house is not the problem, which I do want to repeat myself. I don't blame Stefan for the girls being obese. I think that he's a manipulator and a liar and someone who uses body positivity to his advantage on insecure people who clearly just want someone to like them. I don't blame him for these women eating. Does he influence it? Yes. But in the end, you do have to take responsibility when it comes to this food and the obesity, because many of these women, when I looked them up, they still are quite obese and they're not talking to Stefan at all. And unfortunately for Cass, she got so big and so immobile. She was in a chair, couldn't walk anymore.
She had a lot harder time walking around. The fact that she had to start using scooters, that's not the Cass I knew.
She had like a little bit like some respiratory issues.
And she ended up trying to get out of bed. She fell and suffocated. And she didn't even make it to 30. But something that irritated me about the cast segment is the whole time Stefan is acting like, oh, health is so important, health this, health that. And there's a line that you can't cross when you're doing this feed type content. And Cass stepped over it all while he was trying to say like, it never happened at my house. So obviously it was all her. I had nothing to do with this, when he influenced it. He showed her the way to this type of content. And in fact, he took a cut from her payment, which is something that I was wondering, do the girls have to pay him to make content in his house? And they do. And I found this segment so sad because this was when I dropped off from Paradise. I had no clue that Cass passed away. I didn't know they broke up. I thought she was still alive and well and protecting Stefan, because I remember her being one of the main protectors of Stefan. By the third episode, we learned that the vibe in the house has shifted a lot. All of the allegations really shifted Stefan's vibe, and if Stefan's vibe is off and he's feeling low, the vibe in the house is also super low. Emily, the reporter, ended up leaving. She couldn't really, you know, like it was just murky in the house. And remember, people keep asking, why do the girls keep going back to the house? Why do the girls like it there? Basically, they're in their own world of just fat is beautiful. That is the beauty standard in this house. And they're in this tiny little world and this tiny little bubble, kind of like a reality show. And they feel beautiful. They feel like they're not different. They feel like they have this nice community and this sisterhood and this king called Stefan. But a lot of the girls are really about that sisterhood. So when Emily left, she even said it was a weird vibe. She was weirded out by everything. She saw certain things that happened. She's weirded about Stefan, but once she stepped out into the real world where she was once again, you know, nobody, even she wanted to go back.
I was just living for like 6 weeks in a house with only plus-size women, and now I have to go back into the real world.
You want to go back?
Yeah.
Emily ended up finishing the story and sent it into a publication, and they were like, we don't like this is dumb. And so she felt super defeated. She probably wanted to go right back to Paradise because she felt like, wow, nobody gives a fuck about fat people. And things would settle down for a little bit for Stefan. There was no article, not many women were coming out anymore. Yes, there were still videos, but you know, everything settles down pretty quickly. People get really bored really quick on the internet. Plus, I mean, in this community, they just want to see some fat booty cheeks in a pool. Stefan got right back to business. Hi, editing Michelle here. I just wanted to say, I didn't edit that. I don't know what the fuck Stefan was doing. His whole thing is he's a nerd, he's a safe space, and a lot of the girls like that he's nerdy. But he's back to doing his Stefan shit. Until the Kris Jenner of the house would soon have different feelings. Heather, who was one of the main figures who would always protect Stefan, until one day she would get essayed by some other man at the house, and she would run to go tell Stefan, and Stefan would say, oh, sorry that happened to you. And for her, she didn't like his response, and I can see her side where Stefan is supposed to be a safe space, he's supposed to be her friend, and she was one of the main people that would protect Stefan, and Stefan was just kind of like, well, that kind of sucks. Sorry that happened. Let me go dive into some booty cheeks in the hot tub real quick. She got pissed and she left. Who did she go join? Picky Stardust.
Heather was the big dog. This is the woman who was his right-hand man.
And I think it's great that all these women are banding together, but something about the Kris Jenner of the house, when she decided to speak out about Stefan, that kind of irritated me, is that she said that she has information about Stefan, that he talks to minors.
Just remember, you tried to sweep things under the rug. The problem is, I remember where you keep all your dirt.
And in my head, when she was saying that, I was like, so now you're gonna tell someone that he talks to minors now that he didn't respond the way that you wanted him to respond to something that happened in his house?
You're a terrible person. and a horrible friend.
That was just a little bit of a red flag for me, because if someone that I liked and I knew was talking to minors, I'm gonna go tell people. I'm not gonna wait until they do something to me and then I'll be like, well, now I'm gonna tell on you because talking to minors is weird. But apparently to Heather, or the Kris Jenner of the house, Stefan likes to chat with minors, and he will wait until they're 18, but he'll keep talking to them and they wanna come to the house and he'll say, just wait till you're 18, and kind of like butter them up, call them beautiful, message back and forth. And then once they hit 18, then he gets them.
But Stefan definitely encourages them to send pictures, to continue to communicate with him.
There is nothing wrong with communicating with a 16-year-old and...
Remember the woman from the beginning who says that Stefan will never get rid of her? Well, that was Krissa. She came from a very small town, a 2-bedroom trailer out in the boondocks with 1 bathroom. And when she saw Stefan's house, she was amazed. And Stefan specifically says what he liked about Krissa.
When we first met, she had like this sweet innocence about her.
She had a specific innocence about her. Yeah, probably because she's in her very early 20s and she doesn't know much and she's from a very small town. We also meet someone that also met Stefan when she was extremely young and on TikTok. That's right, Zamora, the woman that I dragged into the toilet in the beginning of this video. Stefan saw her eating a lot on camera, and when Stefan was going through TikTok, you know, on the body positive hashtag, he was amazed with Zamora. He said that she had that zinger that would be perfect for his house.
She's funny. She's original. She makes TikToks that make you laugh.
Yeah, I've seen some of Zio's content. I don't understand it. I think he's saying that she's funny because he was attracted to her and she's big. But you know, whatever, we all have our definition of comedy. Well, while in the house, Zio would get introduced to those certain websites, and she said, I can just eat for a job, and she did it. Well, all the fun and games would come to a very stark halt, and Zio would get pneumonia, the flu, go to the hospital, have a stroke, go into a coma, and thought, what could I do to make this situation even better? I know, I'll start mukbanging from my hospital bed.
Hi guys, today's May 1st, 2025. Eat with me while I answer a couple questions.
And her view skyrocketed. Now, if you remember in my last video, Zamora acts like she is a victim. Not a victim of Stefan's. She loves Stefan. But she acts like she is a victim of her body.
So, man. Okay. So, I haven't walked since January.
She acts like she is trying really hard to get better, and she acts like she is just a victim of the circumstance of what's going on with her body. And that's her whole shtick when it comes to being online. And with that shtick, she has gotten a lot of sympathy, and people will buy her things. Yes, they'll buy her food, but they will also buy her things from her Amazon wish list. They will supposedly, allegedly send her money. People feel sorry for her, and they want her to get better because she's acting like she's getting better. She has been documenting her movement in her left hand or something, and it's getting better. She and Stefan has said many times that Stefan never feeds her.
We support her. We want her to get better. We want her to come out of that damn facility, right? I have never went and fed her. I've never sent her money for food.
But right in the documentary, Stefan says that they went to the hospital or this facility to go pick up Zamora, and they got her some food. Pizza specifically. Well, before they got the pizza, Stefan had to make sure to tell everybody. We went viral on TikTok.
We made a couple of TikToks. One of them actually went viral right now, 1.4 million views.
And then they got her the food that they said that they never got her in the last video.
We brought her that because she asked for it. She's an adult.
The second reason why I think Zamora was irritated or scared or upset that this was going to come out is because throughout this whole time, Stefan and Zio and many people in the community were saying no eating goes on in the house. Like there's no FEEDERSISM, did I spell that right? Going on in the house. They don't even make content for that platform. But then right at the end, Zio says,
I experienced like in-person too. Like I'd have people come to the house and they'd feed me. It was a lot, but it was also exciting. There's a community that likes me for my size.
And Zio specifically has been saying for a while that she's trying to get better, this and this, but then in the documentary, she pretty much just accepts this is who she is and she's not gonna change.
People don't understand that. This is my life now.
And now, after the documentary came out, a lot of Zio's followers are saying, hey, I thought you were trying to get better. We thought you were a victim. We felt sorry for you. Even though, very much like Stefan, it was in everyone's face. She's not trying to get better. She's using this victim card so that people can buy her things. People can look at her OnlyFans or whatever she's doing now. I don't know if she's doing OnlyFans from the hospital bed, but people are definitely buying food for her so she can eat on camera from her hospital bed or her wherever she's at. And allegedly, she's even having people come around to these facilities so that she can sit on them. I don't know if I can use the exact term of what that is, but it's something that they do in this community. They like to get sat on by someone big and feel that sensation, which would actually piss me off if I was in that facility, if I knew that there was some woman or some man inviting random people from the internet to this area that I'm in, because that's weird. And I don't know if they're dangerous.
We're supposed to meet up, okay? He's supposed to come for a squashing session. Yes, in rehab. Yes, on my hospital bed.
And that was the end of the third and final episode of Big Girls Wanted Escaping Paradise, except right at the end, they turn off the camera and we get to see Mr. Body Positive, Mr. Safe Space, talk how he really talks about these big, beautiful women that he just wants them to feel love.
A bunch of bitter bitches that didn't get what they want. To the uneducated TV viewer, this whole thing is just gonna look like, oh, this is like some
TikTok drama. Like, I had some bitches that went to that guy's house, and then they tried to cancel him.
Which in my cold dark heart validates my opinion or theory that Stefan knows that people don't value these women at all. He knows that the world does not find these women beautiful. He knows that the world does not find obesity to be something to glamorize. And he knows that his fetish will probably continue to be masked by body positivity. And some young fat 18-year-old is gonna see his TikToks and say, wow, I wanna go to a place called Paradise. Hi, editing Michelle here. I forgot to put it in this video. I had it in the first one, and I feel like most of you guys know, but if you're new, the judge threw out Stefan's case. Imagine being a 50-something-year-old millionaire trying to shut some like 20-something-year-old girls up, and you sue him for $1 million, and the judge just throws it in the trash. So just so you know, Stefan's booty cheeks lost, and he was really bitter about it. Okay, all right, back to the video. Oh, and also we end with Tess Holliday talking about fat people need to be loved too.
Fearlessly to experience joy and happiness and love and passion.
I know some of you guys who sat through this whole documentary would probably ask me, why do you bring up Tess Holliday? And I just don't think she added really anything of value to the discussion. So I cut her out. Just like I don't think Rosie added anything to the discussion, except for this thing that's being memed now.
They don't tell you the price that you pay.
Well, that's right. Now it's time for the result after the documentary. So what's everybody doing after the documentary dropped? Well, Stefan's on Facebook with a profile picture that looks absolutely nothing like him, which is interesting a little bit because in the first video I made about the trailer, remember he said that if he was black and a gym bro and was chiseled and everything, nobody would be talking about him.
I was a young black guy, like, you know, built, like, you know, muscular, like, you know, gym bro, whatever, everybody would be lining up for the D.
You know, let's say if he looked like P. Diddy, he'd be just fine. So I thought it was a little interesting that his little icon that he used, it looks a little ethnic, Stefan. I don't know, after that comment, I think he's a little jealous of athletic looking black men. But anyway, he's had that profile for a while, at least ever since I started talking about Paradise again. I started looking at his Facebook. But what he is doing on there is he's making these AI images of him where he's super powerful. The force is with Stefan. He's doing Back to the Future AI references. I don't know what this one is referencing, but he's got some fingerless gloves on, so. And of course, he's the Terminator in this one. But my all-time favorite AI post from Safe Space Stefan is Stefan with a crown on his head, a staff in his hand, with his ass seated on a throne, wearing a shirt that says King of the Kitty Treats, surrounded by extremely morbidly obese women feeding cats kitty treats. And if you remember, kitty treats is the thing that he would stick up the girls' vaginas that he said that he educated everybody on.
I would have never just like put something in somebody without even like, you know, how?
Anyway, that's not the best part of the little AI picture. The best part is the caption that goes with it, where he hashtags in old Safe Stefan fashion, body positivity. Stefan is also sharing anything and everything of anyone that agrees with him. And I saw a lot on his Facebook. The last thing that he shared was someone's podcast about the whole documentary, where he says that it's super interesting and he agrees with Rita Best. And why that's interesting is because throughout the documentary, or at least what I've heard from a lot of the girls and other Instagram posts, is that Rita was one of the girls that stayed in the Stefan's house. And apparently she's kind of the mean girl of the crew. Hello, before we get to the aftermath of what filming Michelle saw, editing Michelle also found some new stuff that I didn't fit in before. And I just feel like we need to laugh at Stefan some more. He is using the documentary to get some money back. He came out with merch. Right on his shirt, Big Girls Wanted, the same title as the documentary. You know how precious social media is for Mr. Stefan. Well, he keeps getting banned on TikTok, which was his bread and butter because, you know, very young women are on TikTok. And his booty cheeks got banned and he's really pissed off about it. And he's saying this because TikTok doesn't allow freedom of speech, but it's really, he's just weird and posting weird things. He did start a YouTube channel, same shit, weird stuff again.
You can find me on YouTube.
Remember last video I said that he usually stays out of my comment section because he tried it before, and I said, don't do it, Stefan. Keep your weird little fingers out my comment section. I'm not nice like the other people, but someone's comment section he was in was someone who's very nice. Sam at every size. And his whole paragraph that he left wasn't about the allegations. It wasn't about it wasn't about the court documents. It wasn't even about the proof that Stefan supposedly has on his own website that Sam said was not good. And if you don't remember, the judge even said it was not good because he threw the whole case away. But Stefan thinks it's great because he puts it on his website as proof. Anyway, he didn't say any of that. He just wrote a paragraph about how Sam somehow got the location wrong about where Cass passed away and she's an awful journalist, and that she's uneducated, the internet has vultures, and they spread stories, and that we don't know shit because they don't even effing care to come to me and ask like righteous and upstanding journalists. And something that I don't understand is how he's not understanding that we don't want to talk to him. We think you're weird. 2, he had all the opportunity in the world to say what he needed to in the documentary. 3, he has the channel. He has his own platform. He can say whatever he needs to. And if he would actually, for once, edit and stop blabbing so much and just get to the facts and the points, maybe someone will watch. He's saying the girls are lying. I wasn't there. I have no clue what happened. I can come to my own conclusion and say I think something happened in the house. Even without all the allegations, I would still think that you're a weirdo. Nothing you can say, honestly, is gonna change that, because you'd have to get rid of your whole weird paradise house, and you don't want to do that because you want to get suffocated by some booty cheeks. Anyway, back to the video. Just as someone called that K-Bear Cutie is sharing an 8-part series on her stay at Paradise. There was a lot of this weird drama between someone named Quirky Love Rosie and Stefan. And Quirky was extremely giddy and excited about this documentary that was coming out, and everybody was like, girl, this isn't about you.
I have it on my YouTube command and chat posts. I shared the reel on my Instagram. I stitched the TikTok. Choose your platform. It's 1 minute and 30 seconds. Come back once you watch it. Yeah, I made it very easily accessible for y'all. So please give it a watch. Jim Tan's about to be lit. Hey.
Because she was kind of acting like she was going to be a main little plot in the documentary, or a subplot according to her. She was gonna have all of these parts and it was gonna be her big debut. And there was all this hoopla about Quirky Love Rosie once again like rolling her way into trying to be in the spotlight. People were really upset. So for weeks she was talking about this documentary and telling people to watch it. Get excited, I'm gonna be on TV.
There's a reason I'm involved, and that's all I'm gonna say. There's a lot I'm gonna find out along with you guys, and I don't want to discuss in huge detail the actual involvement because it'll be available for streaming on HBO Max. I was speaking with production today about international aspects.
Well, if you noticed during the documentary that I showed you, I didn't show her really at all, but she was in the documentary for about a whopping maybe like 60 seconds. It might be a little bit more, maybe even a little bit less. All you need to know is that she really wasn't a subplot. They just had her say a couple words and that was it. And she was a little irritated about that.
I thought I would at least have something that I talked about featured.
And it was kind of funny that she brought up Tess Holiday because she didn't like that she was there.
I was so confused why she was there.
Oh, and I know I talked about Quirky on the toilet crying a lot in the beginning of this. I've been filming for so long, I keep forgetting a little bit of stuff. Sorry. But she was on the toilet crying because people were really upset that she was trying to make this whole documentary about her. And now those clips are kind of trending again, or at least being talked about again, because people were like, girl, all that crying on the toilet, and you were only in the documentary for like 30 seconds. But the final person that I wanted to talk about that kind of honestly ticked me the F off so much that I wanted to drag her down my hallway and throw her in the toilet because of how she acted after the documentary hit. And that's Miss Mukbang from the hospital bed herself, Zia Mara. And Zia would once again hop on the internet, eyes wet, nose wet, mouth wet and open, angry about reaction channels and trying to garner sympathy from people. I didn't want to cut anything out of that because I just wanted you to see the dramatics with all of this. But just know that I cut a lot of this act out and my face was exactly how it was while I was watching it now when I watched it the first time. And now that I'm watching it the third time, I feel even less sorry for her. Anyway, once we get through all the freaking weird tears and the stomach bouncing, which I feel like she's doing that on purpose because it's a thing in this community for the belly to bounce. We know that now. Belly meat was the exact word from Safe Space Stefan. But something I wanted to talk about with this one is that she wanted to pinpoint a reaction channel, and she's a friend to this show.
Fucking of course. So the guys, of course reaction channels are already on it, and Sam at Every Size wants to make her fuck ass video and put me, Shay, and Cass as her thumbnail. Me, intubated, Because y'all love making money off of us.
And I just had to say, publicly, get over it. She wouldn't have anything for her thumbnail with you incubated if you didn't post that yourself. This is the same woman that eats on camera while doing all of those things that she needs to live, and does her mukbangs and has men purchase food for her to eat on camera, and she dances around with her food on camera and does all these weird things on camera, and she's upset that someone's gonna use her in her thumbnail. Honey, you are inviting people to put you in the thumbnail. That's why I use you in mine. You are a thumbnail queen. Stefan even said it. You know how to work the camera, literally. There's people in this community that get turned on when these people are on these machines that help them breathe, or, you know, those things on their face. They love it. It's a thing. It's a K-I-N-K. Zio knows exactly what she's doing. She wants the attention, and if you want the attention from those men, you're gonna have to deal with people like me, Sam, and other reaction channels saying, huh, that's weird, but also perfect thumbnail. Thanks, Zio. Too bad. Anyway, she's getting rewarded kind of after the whole documentary came out that really popular streamer Kai invited her to be on his team for something called Streamer University, and this is how she reacted. She had to open her camera and do her thing again.
No way, God! God! And God, it's literally only been 20 minutes since I watched the documentary, and I've been asked by Kai's team to apply to Streamer University. This isn't fucking real.
Hold up. One, screenshot snap. Gonna save that one for the options for my thumbnail when I'm working on it. Just kidding. I'm probably gonna use the one that you have that thing on your face while you're backing down on macaroni and cheese or whatever else some weirdo bought you from the internet. Second thing, I didn't know that she got invited to just apply. I don't want to knock anybody's good time or celebration, but I thought she was like part of a stream team, which I still don't know what that means, but I just thought she was a part of it. Not that you apply. That's like me going to go, I don't know, back to LA Fitness, and I say, I want a job here, and they're like, well, you can apply, and I break down in tears like this.
No way, God!
From pure happiness that I can fill out some paperwork. A little curious, what is Streamer Academy? Streamer University is an exclusive free weekend-long creator bootcamp created by internet personality and Twitch superstar Kai Cenat, designed to help aspiring content creators build their careers. It features workshops, mentorships, and hands-on training from the top names in the industry. That sounds wonderful, right? Dream come true. Let's look a little bit more. The admission is highly competitive. Out of over 1 million applicants, Kai personally handpicks a select group, around 150 to 200 to attend. So there's about 3 very large hurdles that Miss Zio would have to get over to do this opportunity that she is crying very hard in her hospital room for. So 1 being the over 1 million applicants. She gotta beat those people out. 2, I thought this was gonna be online. Nope, you have to get on an airplane. So she kind of has to leave the facility that she's in that's keeping her alive. And 3, I just don't think her content is gonna be that great that she's gonna do well. But let's just say she does. I don't know much about streaming, as in I don't watch streams at all, except for like the HBO Max and Netflix and whatnot like that. I don't watch streamers do their thing. So I don't know what kind of content you need to do to be able to be such as a high level as Kai Cenat, the dean of the Streamer University.
I'm not teaching you how to stream. This is for not only connections, but for the latest content. This is shit that's gonna elevate, hopefully, like, give y'all a fire experience.
So I usually stay far away from Zio's content. I never really looked into it that much besides from my last video because it's weird. But since I am critiquing her content and saying I don't think it's that great, I probably should look at it a little bit and make sure I'm not judging someone's content and saying that it's less than that of quality, right?
Mood? I ordered something I shouldn't have. No mames, güey. Are you kidding, Twisted Pies?
I wouldn't want to do that because Zio probably has a lot to offer. So some of the quality content that Zio is going to offer people in the streaming network are nightly hallway rolls, where she rolls down the hallway and turns around and rolls right back up the hallway to her camera. That was only half the video. The rest of the video, I think she had to slowly walk back and turn off the camera, so you just get a blank hallway for about 12 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
also does dancing. People love dancing. That's always great on TikTok. I don't know on whatever streaming network I is doing for the university, but she will do dancing challenges like dancing while turning off the light in front of her wheelchair.
Lights on, lights on. Woo. Watch me when the vibe switch on. Lights on, lights on. Woo.
She will also twerk in front of her wheelchair. Well, like, she'll try. DJ, bring that bass and lower. And when all else fails and she can't turn off the lights while standing up in front of her wheelchair, she can't twerk on her wheelchair, she will bounce on a bench.
Bounce that belly. Come on.
They were there for a while because in the next video, the sun looks a little bit lower and then they added a third.
Bounce that belly. Come on.
Then they went into the car and started bouncing too.
Bounce that belly. Come on.
Oh, drop the camera there. Hope you have the mobility to pick it up.
Bounce that belly.
She did not have the mobility, which really isn't an issue, honestly. Zio's bread and butter when it comes to content is literally bread and butter. Food, specifically pizza. I don't know why her clients like to get her pizza, but there's so many videos of her just eating Domino's.
The same resident that bought me a pizza last time bought me and the staff, and I've never tried it.
So she does little pizza mukbangs, and if she doesn't want to talk, I mean, this girl just starts bouncing.
Bounce that belly. Bounce that belly.
Oh, another potential thumbnail. Are you starting to get it? If you do stupid things, people are gonna say, ah, that would be great. That's probably gonna catch people's attention. Woman bouncing around with pizza on her Tan Tamara. People are gonna click, which is why you did that. Anyway, that's Zamora's content. She likes to act like she's trying to get better, at least she says it, and a lot of people will come to her aid and when people are critiquing her and saying she's trying, and every single time someone comes back and says, did you look at her profile? She's jiggling around with pizza almost every single day. People are buying her pizzas, among other food. She's doing this content that will garner certain people to follow her and then talk to her and influence her to keep doing this type of content, all while manipulating you into thinking that she's a victim, when really she's just a victim of herself because she's not doing shit except bouncing around and eating, and I don't feel bad for her at all. As for Stefan, a lot of people are saying that he needs to go to jail, and unfortunately I don't think there's enough evidence for him to go to jail, just like there's not enough evidence for him to shut people up. So pretty much what's gonna happen is exactly what's going on right now. People are just gonna keep talking. Stefan really wants these girls to stop, and if he wants these girls to stop, he's gonna have to get offline. Paradise is gonna have to shut down, at least online. But unfortunately for Stefan, how else is he going to garner up young women, you know, the ones who freshly turn 18, to come to what he calls Paradise? I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was a very long one, but there was like a lot of details, and honestly there's still a lot of stuff that I didn't talk about because this video is very long. But if you guys are interested in watching the whole thing and getting all the details, maybe I left something out, maybe it'll change your mind. It is on HBO Max, so you can watch it over there. Other than that, F you Stefan, Zio, keep bouncing and eating and squishing guys, I guess. And to all the other women, I hope them the best, and I hope they stay the hell away from Stefan.
Drag him through the dirt where the roots run deep. Drag him, let the forest hum him to sleep.